Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to all that took the time to be present today in our first intellectual discourse for the year 2022 on leveraging leadership best practices for a high-performing organization. So we have here today Mr. Ramli Atan, our learning and performance specialist, and perhaps I will allow Ramli to actually just explain a little bit on his background.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to everyone. Thank you, Prof. Dahlia and UPM for inviting me to this session. It's an honor indeed. So allow me to give a brief background of myself. Yeah? As mentioned, my name is Ramli Atan. Yeah? I was the Learning and Performance Specialist at Petronas Leadership Center, which is the academy for Petronas, Learning Academy for Petronas staff. A bit of history about myself. I had a colorful career juga lah. Boleh campur-campur semua bahasa English. You want pure English?
Probably a bit here and there is fine.
I started out as a teacher for 3 years. So I was a teacher for 3 years because when I was studying, I was a top scorer also lah, quite good in studies lah. I still remember when I got my results in 1979.
Wow.
Lama dah kan? At that time it's called MCE. I think I was the last batch for MCE. After that it's SPM, correct. So we had English all the way lah. Got good results and went for interview for scholarship. At that time getting scholarship is quite easy. It's not that difficult as compared to now. No wonder why.
More competitors now.
Is it?
I guess.
Okay. We were called into a room. There were many sponsors at the time. So, okay, that cerita ni. Is it draggy? Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I was called to a room, and a couple of us, a number of us, called to a room, and the sponsor was, the person was from Ministry of Education. So he said, I'm from Ministry of Education and we're giving out scholarship to you and you will become teacher. Teacher is a very noble profession and all that. So at that age, not very exposed like today's teenagers. Memang dulu when you were those days, not at all informed, okay? Not the least is career movement and all that lah. All the options to study, tak ada lah. We don't know. So he said that, so we all agree lah, just because at the top of our heads, just go overseas. So lucky enough, so I got to go to Wales to do my A-levels. At that time, A-levels for 3 years. A-levels easier there lah. I only did 3 subjects for 2 years. Chemistry, physics, maths. That's it.
Okay.
If you are in SPM, we're talking about many subjects. It's quite tough. So then after that, I continued with the university in UK doing chemistry. Right? I don't know why I did chemistry, because you wake up when it's winter, especially wake up, it's still dark. When you leave the lab, it's already dark. Okay, so when I reflected, I think I should have done more like law or the social side things, but that time you don't know, right? Never mind. I managed to pass and came back and do a 1-year teaching certificate, all right? And I was assigned to Sekolah Dato' Abdul Razak Seremban. So it's a full boarding school for 3 years. And then I don't know why the headmaster then notices about me, maybe my writing skills, I think. He said that there's an opening in the Ministry of Education. Either that or he wants to get rid of me. I don't know. Either one.
Maybe the latter.
Maybe hopefully the latter. So I was transferred to Ministry of Education doing curriculum development for science and mathematics for 10 years actually. So I had a good 14 years in the government sector. So after 14 years, so I'm the type young, you always go for, I always want to improve myself, and at that time, private sector is beckoning me lah. So I want to try out working in the private sector. And I applied for a few positions. I got a position at MMU actually. But when I considered the pay, I thought it was not worth for me to leave until I applied for Petronas. Okay, so I managed to get to Petronas and worked at my first assignment was in Petroscience, which is not Petronas per se lah, because it's a subsidiary, different terms and conditions, bonus different, salary scale different, and all that. Permanently. I have to admit, I wasn't doing very well there because suddenly I had 20 young people from various organizations or even new staff who was working for the first time. And I was very green. I didn't know or wasn't taught about managing people and leading people. So I made a lot of mistakes, I have to admit. And I think during that 4-year stint in Petroscience, I managed to do some training for my staff. And I think the CEO observed me and she feels that I can do public speaking and training. So I'm lucky, people always connect me for better or for worse. Connected me to there's an opening in the leadership center, which is a training. Masa tu dia panggil Permata.
Yes.
It was called Permata. So connected me to Permata, and I was offered not a permanent position. It was a contractual position. So from a permanent offered a contractual with 1,000 ringgit reduction in salary. Can you believe it? Okay. So when I met up with the HR of Petroscience, she said, Ramli, you better go. Yeah? So
again, whether they are trying to get rid of you?
But this one, I think they're trying to get rid of me. I'll be honest about it. Yeah? We all make mistakes and we learn from it. Yeah? So I went, I took the chance and the risk. Memang that 1 year was really like your future hangs in the balance. Okay, they can easily not continue a contract. But one thing good, I know my strength. My strength is able to stand in front of people and deliver training, right? I've got the right language skills, and Alhamdulillah, I got permanent position. I was offered permanent position 1 year after that. So that was got sent lah, I feel. Yeah? So I'm there for 20 years. Memang situ je lah. Okay, and started out as a junior staff. I rose in the ranks of because we have the specialist career ladder there. So macam guru pakar. Okay, so I rose my ranks. I rose through the ranks until finally I think I managed to get the highest level of the specialist, which is called a custodian. Okay. So in my years of 20 years too, I've seen many leaders. We do a lot of leadership development for Petronas leaders. So is that 20 years too? I rasa macam good lah. It serves me. And my master's, which Ministry of Education sent me, was in curriculum and instruction. So I found that useful when I had a stint in Petronas Leadership Center. We applied psychology of learning, design, and all that. So that really helps. So that's a bit about me lah. Anything else you would like to know?
I think before you leave Petronas Leadership Center, right? You are considered as one of the most one of the top 10 of the most active leaders in Petronas, right? So that was your achievement. Yeah. So how do you can you just explain a bit? How do you become active with your role, with the role that you have as a custodian?
Thank you. Especially during the last, I would say, 10 years of my stint, halfway, I was doing a lot of, that time training was vigorous. It's much less now in terms of training. It's more, nowadays, it's more project-based things. And during those years, I also do workshop development. I do problem-solving workshop with various businesses of Petronas. So the leaders get to know me. So, and also I think because of all the leadership, I was fortunate, especially in the last few years of my stint at Petronas, my CEO then, in leadership program in Petronas, normally the leader in the academy, which is a leadership center, right, would normally come before the program, when the program kicks off like that, like today. He or she will come and give what we call context setting. So the context setting is about how important it is for you. You should go for this. Congratulations for attending this program. And in Petronas programs, leadership programs are very expensive. Yeah, can go up to 80,000 per pax.
Per pax.
Yeah, especially before that, tak apalah, dah retire. Especially when it's the program is run in collaboration with the business schools, the likes of Duke, INSEAD. So we're talking about premium prices, fees that we pay them, right? So when we add up all the costs and all, it can become to 100,000 at one point. So these are for general managers and above, right? So it's important for the leader to come and give context setting. Why this is important for you. This will develop you into a leader, and these are the areas that we're going to talk about. You're going to learn how to become better leaders in your businesses and all that lah. So I was fortunate because my last CEO doesn't like to do that. So I will come and talk to them about the opportunities. So I do the context setting is one. And then in our leadership program, usually that it's about 6 months program, because these are GMs and above, right? Even SGMs, but mostly general managers. You're aware of general managers, right? Normally they are heads of departments and things like that, right? So they have in the program, bukanlah 6 months they stay in a room all the time. It's dispersed, yeah? And they have got leadership journey, we call it. So they are given, they need to come up with leadership actions that they will report back during the training. So when they do that, I come in as a coach, all right? And when they present, it's like today, there's a panel, you present your leadership activities, what you learn, what is it that you found out, what growth have you made by being a leader, by being a better leader as part of the program, and we give feedback to them. So that's how, and I do it many times, so that they counted how many times I do, and then they go by that feedback, right? Because in Petronas, we've got, okay, I will talk later. In Petronas, we've got a program called Leaders Develop Leaders, LDL, right? So this is part of that, actually we copied it from Noel Tichy, if you heard of Noel Tichy, is one of those leadership guru that talks about the best way to develop leaders is from the leader in the organization itself. So we have the LDL program. So as part of LDL program is where we come in and develop the current leaders. So I think by virtue of that, I was selected as a top 10 most active leaders. Sorry, a long answer to your question.
Right. I guess, having heard that, I guess maybe some of us, we always say that, okay, leadership is perhaps, something easy, but I doubt that leadership is something that you can just, suddenly snap your fingers and then it's already there, when you are given a certain position, you I think it is a mistake that when you are given a position and you start thinking that, okay, we can just do it without learning or unlearning and things like that. So perhaps I guess you probably would want to start in defining leadership itself and then moving to.
I will not define leadership. Have you seen any document that defines leadership?
In journals?
I don't know journals. Because leadership is many-faceted thing. It's a many-faceted thing. Yeah? And thank you for raising that. Yeah? I think in most organizations, not just Petronas, people are promoted by virtue of what? What? Okay, I ask you. Why are most people, how does most leaders, performance in what?
In their own respective areas.
In their respective areas. Do you think they are promoted because of leadership?
Not really.
Not really, right? And that's what happens to me as well. I told you about my mistakes that I did in petroscience. I have no idea, no clue whatsoever about leading people, right? I was there because my CGPA, I remember this, the CEO of petroscience saw my CGPA as 3.97.
Okay.
From University of Houston. When I was doing curriculum instruction, he said, I have the best candidate. Thank you for coming. You know, like she doesn't know that I didn't know I know nuts about leadership. All right. And that's the problem right now. People get promoted not because of the leadership, it's because of their functional skills. But do you think that's sufficient?
I guess as a start, probably, but I believe that organizations, when they did that, they have to provide some support in making sure that these leaders are going to be developed.
Okay, when the leaders get promoted, who gets the work done? The leaders get.
The staff.
The staff, right? So you get things done through staff.
Yeah.
If you don't lead them well, do you think they can perform? No. This is the main crux of the problem which organizations must realize. And this, dekat Petronas, I can see it as well. They get promoted and because by virtue of them being promoting, because they are good at their job, what they do is they do the job. They don't lead people. Sampaikan until, I'm retired, I think I can say it. Sampaikan, they do the job of the staff sometimes. And they will breathe down the neck of the staff to get it done because they think there's one way of doing it, my way. Leadership is out of the window, and that is the crux of the problem. Yeah.
But if that would happen, right? That is going to be quite a disadvantage to the organization as well.
Yeah.
Because when the leaders have to, go down and do the technical work, they are not doing the part where they're supposed to be thinking
exactly. The higher you go, you should be exercising your leadership muscle. You have more knowledge perhaps, but I'm not sure about that now, with the turn of events where sometimes you don't know everything, but things are changing, right? You get things done through them and you coach them, you coach your subordinates, you empower them, you motivate them. That's what you're supposed to do. But very often it doesn't happen now. Yeah, I think it's because the leaders tend to not want to give away control. I said command and control is very strong in a lot of organizations. I can see that in Petronas. Yeah, letting go is hard to do, and that is another of the problems. So if you are coming back to your question of leadership, okay, I have my own, based on my own experience. Leadership is about serving others. Itu je, simple. When I'm a leader, I'm serving others. And who are the others? Siapa?
The employees, the staff.
The staff. And in today's world of customer centricity, your staff is your customer. So maybe it's not leadership, the word should be servership.
Okay.
So this is from my own experience, and I've made that shift. When I was in Petronas, I was very much a leader, so-called a leader. Yeah, I don't serve, and I made that shift when I was in PLC or Leadership Center because I have 12 specialists under me, right? And I made the shift, although a bit late. I learned a bit late, but my mission in life is actually now, when I think about it, now that I'm retired, is to make bosses better leaders, because the impact of bad leaders is huge. You know that the cases of mental illness in organizations, and Petronas is one of those, is huge now. It's a huge problem. And very often it's because of the bosses. I know a lot of good staff leaving because of bosses, but not because they're not good. Tapi sayang lah, I mean, such a pity that we end up with that situation. So thank you for inviting me. I cannot teach you. I can only make you think, right? And make you, maybe I should think about that, That's good enough for me. I call that inspiring people. I cannot teach, but I can only inspire people. I cannot tell you to do something, but you have to decide, right? So my role is just to give you perspectives, right? You decide for yourself about leadership, yeah? So to me, leadership is servership, serving others.
Service. Okay, that's a new word that I learned today.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to?
No, I would like to start by just getting the audience to introduce yourselves. Maybe very short one, your name, which faculty you're from, and one thing that you expect out of this session. What would that be? Give you 2 seconds to think about. Tak kena bagi time lah kan. So kat Petronas selalu buat macam ni. I need to know. I'm a very customer-centric person. I need to know your expectations, kan? So I try my best to meet your expectations. Now that you've heard a bit about what I said, right? Maybe anyone can start.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Suryana Sandri.
Yeah.
I'm actually from Faculty of Biotechnology and Biomedical Sciences. We are in the same faculty.
Oh, okay.
But I'm also in CADe. I just appointed as the Deputy Director.
Wow, congrats.
Since January this year. For me, it's so my expectation from this session is that since I'm new in this leadership role, so I would like to learn everything.
How many people are under you directly?
There are 3.
3. Okay, good. Thank you. You want to learn as much as you can.
Yes.
Any specific need when it comes to leadership?
Any specific needs? I think in terms of confidence in giving, asking favors and so on.
Okay.
Okay. Giving directions.
All right, giving directions. Okay, thank you, Suryani.
Suryana.
Suryana, sorry. I dah 60 kadang, pardon me if I forget. Nama memang aku very weak. Okay, thank you.
My name is Rani. Thank you very much for coming. So I'm Hidayah from the same faculty as Suryana, Faculty of Energy and Biomedical Sciences. Basically, I'm the Deputy Dean of Industry and Community Linkages at my faculty.
Right.
So of course, my expectation is how to be successful leader. And also how to get people to work with me. Of course, as a deputy dean of community and industrial linkages, I need to serve my staff because as the deputy dean, it is the center of reference for that particular area. So that's how I
Excellent. Thank you for starting to use the verb serve. Not lead. I'm not in favor of the word lead. Because you cannot lead people. People don't want to follow you.
That's right. We need people to work with us.
Yeah.
I think that's how we should create a win-win situation.
Yes, excellent. We need more humble leaders actually. Yeah. Because when you are humble, people can reach out to you. Okay. Thank you, Daya. Okay. Next, we start. Salam.
My name is Putra.
Okay.
I serve as a administration department in Center for Economic Development.
Okay.
And what do I expect to this session is basically how to conduct, how to control the staff, and how to basically train myself not to be as you see some just now that you are also the staff. So basically you are doing the same as a staff, but in the same time you are needed.
Right. Okay. 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 Good. Thank you. Siapa nama tadi? Dah lupa. Nizam lah. Sorry, call me Nizam. Okay.
Itu saja.
Itulah dah 60 lah. Okay. Next.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Yasmin Muhammad from CADe. Actually, I'm one of the organizers.
Oh, okay.
So I want to know what are the best practices.
Right.
Best practices.
Right.
What are the criteria and what are the expectations? And I think we also have
Ya,
so
baik.
maybe we can ask.
Ya.
Okay, okay. Boleh? Berapa orang? Ramai ya? Boleh, tapi kalau kita minta seorang-seorang takut lambat masa ambil lah.
We can pick.
Pick a few lah. Pick a few. Whoever wants to introduce themselves, because it's important to get engagement. When we do Zoom, important to get their engagement as well. Yeah.
Yes. Anybody from the Zoom who wants to introduce yourself?
And open and turn on your video as well, so we can see you. We only have one person.
Yeah, Assalamualaikum, good morning,
Salam.
Dr. Dahlia and Cik Ramli. Yeah, I don't know whether Cik Ramli still remembers, we went to Japan for the JICA friendship program
Oh, yes.
many years ago. So I'm Iza from the Center for the Advancement of Language Competence. I would just like to know, how to motivate our colleagues, right? I have 80 of them. Yeah. So how to motivate them? I find that not to say that they're not good, they're very good in terms of technology and whatnot, but sometimes they need to be motivated to work, to come to work.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
I think what you mean is you want to motivate them so that you want them to have discretionary efforts.
Yes.
Do things without you telling them what to do on their own. I believe that's what you meant.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you again.
We probably can have one or two more if there are any.
May I?
Please.
Yes.
Yeah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Haliza Muhammad Elias. I'm from the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. I think from this session, I would like to know how to make leadership excellent for introvert person.
For introvert person. So you're telling me that you are an introvert person.
Yeah, I'm giving you a clear clue.
Okay, good. Okay, let's look into that as well.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Any last one?
Any last one? Yeah. Anybody?
I do.
For the sake of diversity and inclusion, maybe we have one more man to introduce himself. Ada nampak seorang?
Yalah, there are a few.
Oh, there are a few. Okay. Can we have one more man to introduce yourself as well?
They are very shy.
Semua introvert, eh?
Okay.
Tak ada, eh?
I guess tak ada.
Okay lah, lady pun tak apalah, one last one.
Oh, we can probably have.
Okay lah. And then we have a new attendee ni.
Yes.
Cedera dia sikit.
Welcome, Dr.
Welcome.
Suhaib.
Yeah.
This is the Dean for Faculty of Education.
This is the one you
So
mentioned.
since you are a man,
Dekat Petronas, for your information, we are big on DNI.
okay, so I guess what we are discussing just now is that Encik Ramli was just asking from the audience, and hopefully we get one more feedback from a man candidate that what do you expect from the session actually?
Oh, okay. Terima kasih.
Maybe introduce your name, faculty dah tahu dah, education, and one outcome lah that you want to have at the end of the session.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Boleh dengar semua ya? My name is Shuaib Asmiran, Student Dean of the Faculty of Education and Studies. Sorry for being late.
Ada good
We
excuse.
have just this meeting. Okay. Actually, when we were offered this project with this topic, I think it's very interesting about the bridging leadership. You talk about high performing organization.
Yeah.
So I suppose UPM is one of those. So, and then of course Petronas and the DLC. What I expect is to get some inputs, especially from big conglomerates such as Petronas, to see maybe sharing of best practices from Petronas that we can bring into UPM. Even though our nature of services are different. We are ours teaching and learning and research, but at the same time Petronas they have also what we call it research. I think they have R&D. We also have R&D. So there are some similarities. And we don't forget Petronas also has a university. So I think we can blend that one and see how leadership practices, especially in high performing organizations such as Petronas, I think is worldwide. And then UPM, we are having this particular agenda of Putra Global 100. I think it's high time for us to make a move. So how can we menyahut that seruan apalah? Our VC has mentioned so many times. So that's my.
Thank you, Shuaib. I'm also an education man. So it's good to meet another education person. Yeah, you're right. But apart from UTP and research, Petronas also has the academy, the learning academy for Petronas, which is Petronas Leadership Center, which is where I was from. Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, I'll be sharing some of the best practices from Petronas. I did mention one of it is the Leader Develop Leader program. It's part of it. Okay.
And there was another mention that Petronas training can go up to 80,000 per pack.
Mampus aku kalau HR tahu. Tapi tak apalah kan. I mean it's cost. Because we are dealing with the best in leadership development. Of course we have to pay lah. It's just okay. Moving on. Okay. Right. So let's get the record straight from now. I cannot, as I mentioned, I cannot teach anybody, right? Because teaching is already passé, you know. We don't even use the word teach in Petronas Leadership Center, right? We say we facilitate. Yeah. Training has become a bad word. Okay. It's not training, it is learning. And even learning now is overtaken by another term. It's no more learning. You learn, but if you don't apply, what happens?
You will lose what you learn.
And you forget, right? So what's the best word after learning? Next best word after learning. Why do you learn in the first place?
To implement.
Implement. And in the workplace, it's called what? When you implement something right, you are?
Because in PhD we do essays. This is like filling in the blanks.
As I said, I cannot teach, but I can only make you think. I really like this quote. So if you learn and you apply and you manage to get the outcome that organization wants, what is that called? Shoaib used that word just now. Maybe tanya Shoaib.
What was the word just now?
Starts with P.
Performance.
Yes. Nowadays, you don't teach, you not even learn. Memang you can learn, but that's not the end in mind. The end in mind should be about performing. If you learn, but you cannot perform, sometimes you learn, but you cannot perform because the organization itself has got barriers for you to apply. Pun ya juga. But in the end, ultimately, it is the performance that we want. That's why I call myself learning and performance specialist. Okay, in the end, performance is what counts. All right. So I cannot teach you. I cannot make you think. But more importantly, this is from me, not from Socrates.
Okay.
It is inspiring. So my role is to make you think and then inspire you to act, to commit, to change. So that's my role. Okay, in Petronas pun, I already told my participants always, you can learn. I want you to think, not just accept bulat-bulat, okay, from what I said, but in the end, I want you to be inspired so that you will take the necessary actions from then on. Okay. Okay, a bit of exercise. So my sessions selalunya banyak interactions. Okay. So now this table, the three of you, I want you to take about 5 minutes to identify a leader or two. So one leader pun cukup lah. Okay, that you consider to be a good boss or a good leader in your past working experience up till now. Why do you say he or she is a good leader? What makes you feel that, what sort of behaviors the leaders demonstrate to you that make you feel that he's a good leader? Okay. The audience at Zoom, you may also want to think individually. Kalau you ada input later, we can always call them for inputs. Okay, that table.
They can also write in the chat box.
Write in the chat box, please. Those in the Zoom, because we want engagement. On that table, the three of you, in 5 minutes, think of a boss, a leader that you consider as a bad boss, something like that lah on the picture. Okay, why? What behaviors the leaders demonstrates that make you feel that he or she is a bad boss, not a good boss? Boleh ya? Tak sensitive ah? You don't have to mention names. Okay, take some 2 to 3 minutes. So the rest in the Zoom, please, you can write on the chat box example of a good boss and the behaviors that you say he or she is a good boss, good leader. Okay, table 2, bad boss.
Bad boss, good boss.
Run check the time. 10:45. Okay. Okay. Any feedback? Okay. So nanti you baca lah, you read it out. Yang mana-mana lah after they present. Dah. Okay. Okay, are we done? Maybe we can report out. Shall we start with the good boss or the bad boss?
The bad.
The bad dulu. Okay, let's hear the bad. The good, bad, and we won't do the ugly, yeah? Okay, let's hear out the bad boss.
So we have this.
Boleh dengar tak?
Ten characteristic of the bad boss.
Right.
The first one is inconsiderate.
Yeah.
Second is bad planner.
Bad planner,
And the third one is not organized.
not organized.
And then self-centered.
Apa?
Self-centered.
Self-centered. Okay, that's a good one. Self-centered.
And the fifth one is limited knowledge.
Limited knowledge.
And then not creative and innovative. And it to be creative and innovative. Lack communication skills.
Mm.
And number 8 is unable to inspire.
Mm.
And then 9 is rude and unprofessional.
Unprofessional and rude, yeah.
The last one is disrespect.
Disrespectful of the staff. Excellent. Good points. Good points.
Until 9.
For the bad one.
So today is a therapy for this. You see effects of bad bosses. You can see that, you know. Until 9. Okay, very good. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, now the good bosses. Oh, you want to?
Oh, I mean, I can probably
okay.
add on from the chat box.
All right.
So we have bad boss, just bossy.
Bossy, yeah.
Okay. And example of a bad boss assumes people can do everything and anything
Nice. I like that.
and cannot provide guidance,
I'll
but
talk
is
about that.
offended when people don't do things
His way or
his
her
way
way.
or her way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that would be from the chat. Okay, so perhaps we can move to the good boss.
Jaja, I particularly like that
Which one?
point about the boss. He or she always assume that people can do whatever he or she wants them to do. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll go to the good one. We'll go to the good ones. The good boss.
Opposite of that, maybe someone that can communicate well,
Yeah, communicate well,
respect others,
respect others,
inspiring,
inspiring people.
okay, yeah, make people think okay, it's not being popular.
Okay, all right. Not being popular with whom?
With with nak jaga dia punya image. That's
Ke atas. Right, correct. Very good, very good. Yeah, it's about manage. They don't always only manage upwards. Okay. I see a lot of that in Petronas. They manage upwards, but downwards the soldiers all die. All day. It doesn't last. It's not sustainable. Okay.
Someone that can build relationships between the staff and everyone in the organization.
Yes.
Ambitious. Yeah.
And, we discussed about one of the leaders in UPM lah. I think Khadijah also is here. I think they agree with me lah. I will name it lah. I think you don't mind, I think our producer Tansi Said, he was our BC last time. I was once working directly with him when I was assistant registrar at the time. I think he is a person who has very far-sighted. Nampak jauh ke depan. At that time masa tu, and he talk about research, he talk about publication, he talk about all things yang we masa tu think that we were in the comfortable zone. Just do our work, right? But he went beyond that. And I think one time too, we had so many students coming to UPM, admitted to UPM. There are reasons for doing that. It was building, as I said, in the area. Banyak benda and then he made one thing I learned a lot from him is that he made us think, not
teach, not tell.
That's cool. But you have to think why. Dia cakap sikit je, tapi you kena fikir. Then you act lah. Then you have to justify. So maknanya dia we make you work, we make you think, and we make you do what you like. But then you have to be rational. Itu yang nampak.
Good. Thank you. Okay, somewhere from something from the chat box.
I think Dr. Suriana mentioned before the good communication, humble,
yeah.
Listens well,
Listens well, that's good.
empathize,
That's good. Siapa tulis tu?
Dr. Saliza.
Dr. Saliza, well done. I will touch on those areas that you mentioned: listening, empathizing,
Appreciative.
Appreciative.
And then I think that Daniel was saying example of good boss. She really understood that some team members were new and she made sure they had all the information and guidance needed to complete the task.
Excellent.
So that was the
we'll talk about that. That's serving, not leading. Okay.
And then good boss shows good leadership and stewardship, foresight.
Yeah.
Oh, ada otak. Very interesting.
Ada ke leader tak ada otak?
I don't know.
So when you say about ada otak, actually it has deep meaning.
Okay. Faham.
You have to think about the word.
Okay, I like that. Okay.
Okay, that's
okay. That's good. So I can see that we here and in the Zoom, we have a sense of what a good boss and a bad boss is. What good leadership looks like, what bad leadership looks like. All right. So it's a good start. Right. Now, thank you for that. Moving on. When you see this picture, what comes to mind? Is he a boss? Stress. Panic. Lagi? Headache. Migraine. Kalau in the context of UPM, what would that be? Why is he acting?
KPI not achieved.
KPI not achieved. Very good one. KPI not achieved.
Like that. End of the year.
Very often KPI, most likely KPI not achieved to what kind of KPI? Why is the KPI not achieved? Apa dia? Set too high. Is it okay? Not enough resource to deliver. Very good. What else?
I guess
Time. Not enough time.
some inconsistencies in a way that, for example, because they used to be in the academic institution, right? So people used to be, initially they are lecturers and they have their own set of KPIs to meet. But then they become leaders. So now they have another set of KPI to meet. So now to juggle these two, maybe a bit of
you're getting there. You're getting there. Contextually, I think in UPM is the same. Petronas is the same. Any organization is the same. Leaders very often are required to deal with change. They are the ones who addresses any change that's required in the organization. Because your vice chancellor, again, particularly vice chancellor, couldn't do everything. Whatever vision he had, maybe a new research area that you have never done before, right? He's not going to do it. He's going to have a vision. But in the end, it has to be cascaded to the leaders to help him. And it's change to the leaders. It's a change. Kalau you've been doing the same KPI, like you say, comfort zone, you'll be able to deliver because you know already. You're familiar with it. You know what needs to be done. But very often leaders, especially now, even in Petronas, are inundated with change. But that's their role. Leaders are supposed to lead change. Okay? So my question to you, what changes are you experiencing in UPM right now? And also in tertiary education as a whole? What changes are you experiencing? What are some of the major changes that you need to deliver, which you may not need to deliver at all before, or is getting bigger in terms of its delivery? Okay, so that's digital punya implication, right? Very good. Okay, that's one. What else?
And also to catch up with the technology
Yes.
that use nowadays.
Right.
For teaching.
Yes, the technology used in teaching is one. You mentioned something to me earlier, a big thing.
The need for the university, I think, to be sustainable on its own.
And self-sufficient.
Self-sufficient,
Right.
generating income.
Generating
things like that.
income.
Yeah, so because we are not in the situation that we were before.
That is a big one. That is a big one. And you know it's coming, right? Okay. Not just you, even I was reading, even all the higher educations in UK is struggling right now. Struggling because they need to, the grants that they get are getting less and less and less from the government. Government don't have money anymore to give. And then macam UK kan, the foreign students are reducing. Yeah? Australia, look at Australia. Pergi gaduh dengan China. China pun tak datang. Okay. It all has implication, and these are changes that the leaders at all levels need to address. Yeah. So it's getting more and more challenging for leaders nowadays, right?
One day,
This is the dialogue.
because in terms of knowledge, I think last time universities were considered as the leaders in knowledge.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. But now seems the changes are happening and it's the other way around. Industrial sectors are actually the leaders and they follow them. And I see that as a change, big change in university.
Thank you. I like that. Excellent. I like that. Because in today's world, there is this term called connectivism. What does it mean? It means that knowledge is everywhere. It's not just in one place. And our role is to connect learners, be it students or office employees like Petronas, to connect those people to the right party who has the knowledge. It doesn't reside, and you're right, it may not reside necessarily in the university. It doesn't. So in that sense, the change is now with you guys, and also if I notice in PLC as well, the Petronas Academy, is that knowledge doesn't reside with us anymore. We are just facilitators. We are not even teachers. We are not even lecturers, if you like. We are facilitating the learning. So we are connecting people, learners, to the knowledge that's available. It can be anywhere, like you say, it could be the industry, it could be in the net. Usah cakap universiti lah, school. I was just having a chat with a teacher when I had breakfast at Mama. I chanced upon a teacher. I was talking about it, you know. He realized that students now become students dulu. They have knowledge available already. So why do you come to school and teach them? You should practice what we call flipped classroom. Have you heard of flipped classroom? Yeah. You have it here. Excellent. Flipped classroom is different. Kan? You suruh dia belajar kat rumah, they can read anywhere. Knowledge is everywhere. That's connectivism. Then when they come here, you give them problem to solve. Sekarang terbalik. You teach in here, and then you give them homework, which is a problem. So terbalik kat rumah. So on their own, they cannot do well. Over here, they work better when they are in social teams. They can solve problems better. Learning they can do anywhere. So that's a big shift there, and it's a change. You're right. For some people, it's a change that maybe it's hard for them to handle. I'm so used to being in front. I'm the sage on the stage. Tiba-tiba, I have to be a guide by the side. I don't know how to be a guide by the side. I'm so used to be the leader, the teacher, the lecturer, right? Suddenly, I have to go down and become a server. Bukan server IT, server. I serve your needs. It's a big jump. It's a big change, right? Some people may not be able to handle it. Yeah. Okay, so it is a different perspective now. We need to change our perspective. We need to be more humble. We have to let go of our ego, right? I'm here to serve you. How can I help you? I facilitate your learning. I'm facilitating your development. I'm listening. We talk about listening. We talk about the chat box. I mentioned about empathizing. How do I empathize with my learners? How do I empathize with my students? That is getting more and more important right now. Okay, and that shift sometimes is painful for people to go through. Okay. Any comments?
And I guess the fact that the students nowadays, I mean, we get a very diverse kind of students. Universities are not just taking care of the locals.
Exactly.
We are also getting international students.
At one time, a lot of Iranians.
Yeah. So, for example, like my class last time was a training and development. So it was like a cross-cultural class because I only have like 10 locals, and then I have 10 nationalities apart from that 10 locals.
Face-to-face, kan?
Face-to-face that time. So it was a kind, I mean, you really have to sort of your mind is shifting in order to cater to all needs, because you also need to be like, I mean, they are talk about inclusivity, things like that.
D&I and all that.
So more challenging for the academics.
And these are all change. Change is a constant now. In Petronas pun change, tapi luckily dulu change yang teruk sekali when minyak jatuh to the point that we have to pay people to buy our minyak. Can you believe it? Oil and gas companies at one point, this was as early as 2019, when it dipped into negative territory. Negative maknanya, if I keep my oil in my warehouse or whatever, can be whatever storage, it's cost. And if I don't get rid of it, it's going to add cost to me. So you pay people to buy. Tolong beli. I pay you ambil, please. That's a change that we're talking about. Tapi sekarang okay lah, dah naik tinggi kan? Terlalu tinggi sangat. So change is everywhere, and change is very disconcerting. Very stressful. So, however, that's life. And now change is so drastic. It's getting more and more drastic. Right? Any thoughts from Zoom? Anybody wants to say something from the Zoom group?
So far, no. Just unreasonable KPIs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's move on. I will quickly go this lah. Have you heard of VUCA? You have heard of VUCA? Yeah, VUCA. Actually, VUCA sebelum pergi ke Bani, now it's Bani. Have you heard of Bani belum? Most people didn't hear about Bani yet. VUCA is outdated already because it's been around for 40 years. Alright. Dulu VUCA pun jadi VUCA. Dia tambah satu U, dia panggil untrusting. Untrusting. Okay, lack of trust. Now Bani. Bani is about brittle, anxious, non-linear, incomprehensible. So Bani ni lebih sesuai now, current, and it is out of the COVID epidemic. Right? In a nutshell, Bani shows that it is the worst. It is more worse. It is more worse than VUCA. VUCA is getting worse. It becomes Bani. So Bani ni kau jangan ingat, it's a Malay word macam Johari window kan kita.
Yes, I thought it was Melayu.
Padahal Joe and Harry.
Yeah.
So Bani now. I'll give the slides. Nanti Doc will give the slides. So Bani, this is the latest. Brittle. Things that you thought you can rely no more. Just like my car recently. For 8 years. BMW yang murah tu yang beli dulu 8 years. Tak ada masalah. Servis RM300, RM400. Wah, aku tahu ini murah daripada kereta Jepun aku. Suddenly, out of 8 years ni, tiba-tiba ini bocor, dia baru found out. Dia bocor dah kena RM9,000. So that's brittle to me lah.
Okay.
I cannot rely anymore. Things can just go out of order. And anxious. Of course, people are getting anxious right now. As I told you, a lot of people, because of the situation of the COVID and all that, anxiety levels are high, mental stress, high, mental disease is increasing like nobody's business. Tak campur lagi bad bosses, creating that. Even without the bad bosses, anxiety levels have increased. That's why we have to empathize with people. Okay? And then non-linear. Non-linear maknanya you cannot predict lah, you know. You thought that it's going to go this way. No, necessarily. It will end up somewhere else. And then you cannot even understand. Incomprehensible. And this all creates a lot of stress and mental anguish. Yeah? And then here we're talking about consumer preference. Here we're talking about UPM, your students, your lecturers. Their preferences are all changed. Yeah? Sustainability and environment, tak berapa sangat lah. Technology advances, we know, we talked about it. All the technology advances, suddenly I have to learn. I was never trained to do it. Yeah? But now I have to be very comfortable with it. D&I, dulu like you mentioned, dulu mana ada foreign students kan? All Malaysians, tiba foreign students, different culture. So all, and yet you have to involve them. Yeah, ini from Petronas. This is taken from Petronas employees. We did a survey and we found out they want to be more in control of what they want to do. They want more autonomy. And don't tell me exactly ABC. Give me some leeway lah. I have ideas also, you know, I'm not stupid. You know, if you tell me broad goals and then let me come up with the solutions. I don't like when people tell me what to do. And that's normal, yeah? I mean, especially, and that's how kids nowadays are. They want more autonomy. Okay, I want my job to be more purposeful. I must understand why you ask me to do this? How is this connected to the bigger picture? It is a leader's role to explain that. Itulah leaders tu, kalau dia buat kerja functional, he won't have time to do all this. And most leaders, they don't want to do this. Penat. Buat kerja dia senang. I just do my job, functional things. Okay lah. Now I have to deal with people, nanti banyak soal lah, I have to answer. But that's your role. Your role as a leader is to do the explanation, understand, make them understand why they do what they do.
Is that similar to getting the buy-in of your
Exactly. The ultimate aim is to get buy-in. People, when they are clear of why they do it and connect it to the bigger picture, they will do it well. So just to tell you about the Ukraine war, you can compare the Ukrainian army and the Russian army. What do you think in terms of purpose? Which one has got clearer purpose? Russian or Ukrainian army?
What's going on?
The war is still going on. But why Russia has not managed to capture Ukraine so fast as they expected? Why? Because the Ukrainians are very clear on their purpose. It's to defend their country, and they strongly believe. Are they paid?
No.
Are they getting 5-star hotel treatment? No. And the Russians, their purpose is not strong. They were told they were told to the point that you go into Ukraine, people will come and hug you and for saving them, which is not happening. So purpose destroyed. They don't see the big picture. Sampaikan what they do is they sabotage. They tembak the generals, the commanders, they shot their legs just to get out. That's the purpose. There's no purpose. I can't connect to why I have to invade Ukraine, and some of them are Russian-speaking people. So that shows how important and that you address the purpose with your, and the leaders need to do it. You need time to do it. You need to empathize, listen. Someone you mentioned in the chat room, kan? Listening is a skill. Listen to them, then explain to them. Kena sabar, banyak sabar jadi leader ni, serious. So kalau maybe the next promotion requirement, one of it is listening skills. Dia listen ke tidak? Empathize ke tidak? Bukan semestinya dia perform all the time. Okay. I want more coaching. This is very prevalent in Petronas. They say that employees are saying that we don't get coached by the boss. Mana naknya? The boss is busy with delivering KPIs. That's how you can't blame them. That's how they get promoted. That's how that's what they think they are good at. They are not being promoted because they are good leaders necessarily. No doubt some are good leaders by nature.
In that sense, they are not they are basically managers.
Yeah, they are managers. They are doing things right. They are not doing the right things. Tapi, okay, yang ni yang nak cakap sikit lah. One of the important things about leadership that people feel that they want to be led by you is, there's a big word. And I think this is missing in a lot of leaders, which is trust. Kalau you tak gain trust from your people, they don't even want coaching from you. And in Petronas, we have seen the subordinates write in their, we do performance review online, feedback semua bagi, banyak keluar, I don't want to be coached by my boss to that extent. So I mean, the trust is not there. The trust, I don't want my boss to coach me. Sampai gitu sekali. Okay, so that is something that we don't want to end up at. Tapi in Petronas adalah ramai, tapi it's there. And then you can see, I want to gain new skills that will contribute to my career success. I'm doing the same thing. I don't think I'm getting new skills, right? I have skills that I want to learn, but I don't get the opportunity to learn on the job. And you know the 70-20-10 rule? Have you heard of the 70-20-10? You learn most from the job. 20% you learn from your colleagues or people who are more knowledgeable. Only 10% from formal training. So if I don't have, I want, my career, I want to become a better lawyer. I want to do accounts better in a higher level, whatever. I want to be a better facilitator. I want to conduct workshops, but I don't have the opportunity. I can read. It's only 10%. I can ask Dahlia about facilitation because she's very expert, but that's only 20%, but I must do it. If I don't get the opportunity, I'm not going to get the skills, and they get demotivated as a result. And we talk about that. Somebody asked about motivation. One of the ways to motivate people is to make people feel that they have learned new skills. They will be very motivated. When I learn something new skills, I get very motivated. When I started out to do training, I was very good at it already. After a while, I said, tak naklah training, I want to do something else. I want to learn new things. So my next step is to deliver workshops, problem-solving workshops. So when I started doing it, I felt so motivated. I'm learning new skills. And not many people can do workshops because workshops is very difficult, more than training. It's not within your control. In workshops, I've got Petronas, I've got UTP, the last one that I did. They want to collaborate on research areas. What research areas Petronas wants? Because Petronas pun ada research. UTP also got their own research. Kan? UTP, you know, it's a research university, kan? And what area should they collaborate? UTP pun ada dia punya own interest. Petronas pun ada own interest. You know, interest like IP rights and all that. So when you facilitate, when I become the facilitator, it's more challenging. It's not within my control. I need to facilitate these two groups so that they talk to another and come up with a list of areas, research areas, and why they are important for this collaboration. So that is much more difficult. Not many people can do it. And I feel good because bukanlah I rasa not many people can do it, kan? But because I feel I got a new skill that is getting more and more niche. And that's how you motivate your staff. If they learn new skills, you provide them new skills, they will really be motivated. Money is not everything. Money is not everything. Money goes only a certain amount, a certain way. After that, you need something else. It's not money. So carrot and stick sebenarnya tak berkesan. Sekejap je. Yeah? People in Petronas, I personally get good bonuses, tapi it won't last. The bonuses doesn't last, the motivation doesn't last. Dua-dua tak last. But what is lasting is a new skill that I acquire. So make sure you find your staff get new skills. Give them opportunity. So when they know that they get new skills, they know that you care about them and they will get motivated. So think about that. What skills can I give my staff that they don't have right now? And people will appreciate it. Yeah, going to that lah. Okay, any thoughts so far?
I think you mentioned about trust.
Hmm.
You must get the trust of your followers.
Exactly.
But sometimes leaders are put there not because of he's a leader.
Yeah.
Because of position.
Right.
So happen that in our organization, always the boss will become the leader.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
So to get the trust from the followers, very difficult.
Yeah.
So how do we go about
One way of it is to serve them. If they feel that you serve them, the trust will come easier. So one way of serving them is to look into their development. Bukan bagi tugasan aja. Okay, do this, deliver this. But you talk to them, what do they need to deliver that? New skills, give them. They will gain trust. It's a process. Yeah? But you must talk about trust, but you must also gain trust through your actions. When you talk to them, you listen to them, you're interested in them, they will feel that you believe in them. Then the trust will come. So it's, to me, my answer simple is to serve them. What can I serve you? How do I serve your needs? They will feel. I mean, simple, eh? Think about it. There's a saying, Confucius say what? Don't do unto others what you want others, you don't want others do to you. In leadership is sama lah. Lead others the way you want others to lead you. Senang je. You want to lead others, you lead in the way that you want others to lead you. Kalau very simple, we all have needs. So if people address our needs, we will gain trust. We will give them trust because you feel that they are interested in you. They listen to you, they empathize with you. Try that one. Paling teruk punya trust destroyer is you always check on them. Ni dah buat ke belum? Kenapa tak buat lagi? Why haven't you done it? Have you ever asked why? Are there challenges that you face? How can I help you? Have you heard of management theory XY? Oh, this is one of the first theory that I came across when I was a teacher. I was in the library in Sekolah Datuk Brazak, and there's a journal of management. So I opened the journal and talks about theory X and Y. Theory X says you treat everyone as trying to run away from responsibility.
So
Okay?
you control that.
You control them as a result. What's theory Y?
Thinking that they like work.
Yes,
And you allow
that they
them.
will like work. If you give them the opportunity, you give them the support. I have a story, yeah. Okay lah, cerita sikit I have a staff, you know. Nama dia pelik sikit lah, nama dia Oxford. Tapi dia bukan Mak Saleh. Kau kenal kan? Tapi dia, I don't think he minds lah for me to tell the story. Ya. Dia nama dia Oxford sebab because the father studied in Oxford and he was born in Oxford. So he gave the son name, bukanlah Oxford per se, panjang sikit lah, Oxford-Lead, Muhammad Saleh. Okay, Oxford. Who was it that says he or she is introvert? Oh, ada kan? One of the Zoom. Yes. He is so introvert that if you look at him in the office, he will be with a book. He's more comfortable with the book. And you know what book he reads? Any guesses?
How to communicate.
No.
Yes.
No.
Anime?
Professional lah. Actually, he reads leadership. He's very interested in leadership. He reads all the book you can find in leadership. But he's so introvert. He doesn't want, in meetings, he will keep quiet, right? So he went for interview for a specialist because we begin with executive, then manager, and then manager, you are qualified for specialist. You are sent for assessment by outsider, by the external consultant, from UK. He didn't pass. Okay, and then he came under my department after that when he failed. Huh? And everybody was saying, Oxford, it's too quiet, meeting didn't say anything. I don't think suitable as a specialist, you know, and that kind of thing. He failed, okay? But I did not use theory X. I used theory Y. You know what I did? I called Oxford. Oxford, I saw you read a lot of management books. You like management, kan? Ya lah, boss, I suka baca. I'm so intrigued with all these theories of leadership, you know. So he knows all the gurus, I think even more than me. Because dia baca end to end, because dia akan duduk dekat coffee, we have a pantry, sometimes even a coffee house, he will read with his book. Couldn't bother about other people. So you know what I told him? Oxford, I believe you can be a specialist. I really believe in you. Here's what you need to do. Okay? Why don't you start getting more involvement in leadership programs? I will get you involved in leadership programs. And I want you to talk about the things that you read. Okay? Kan kita Petronas kan banyak, PLC kan banyak leadership programs happening. You know? And then, you know, you can see when I speak that like that, dia punya mata cahaya tau. Dia nampak. I think nobody, bila cerita ni pun nak menangis tau. That he wasn't being addressed appropriately. Kan, people just discount him because they're quiet. So what I did was, I gave him trust. I believe in him. Sorry, I pun dah menangis. It's the term is you got this. Kalau English American, we say you got this. You got this. You just need to do this. ABC. I will get you. And he started, you know, in meetings pun dia dah mula bercakap. A big transformation with him. And so much so that he passed the next assessment. So I was happy for him. And you can see he's more contributing right now. Dia nak retire dah lagi bulan 12 nak retire. Kan? So I mean that is the transformation we're talking about. When you serve people. No, bila dia masuk tempat I boleh kata, I could have easily said, alamak, not this problematic stuff, kan? Dia tak problematic, he just keep to himself. But I rasa macam I'm doing injustice if I don't address him. Kan? He's got a potential. So total transformation. Kan? You have worked with him, right?
Yeah.
In a way.
I just had a communication with him.
Yeah.
But he seems to be very confident.
He is. He wasn't like that. Dia quiet, dia takut nak cakap because orang duk kata dia kan. I'm sure it comes back to him kan, that he's not contributing, you know. So this is a transformation you can make to people when you serve people, ladies and gentlemen. And this from my own experience. Tapi sadly, I realized it late lah. Kan? Had I done it more, I could have transformed more lives. And make a difference to people. Sorry lah, I pun dah nangis bila fikir balik kan. Yeah, it is so impactful. Okay. Any thoughts?
The fact that you cry means that being a leader, you should be human, right?
Yes, we are. That's the thing. We feel that when we are leader, we are robots. You know, we shouldn't have emotions. That's why you must be humble as a boss. You're not serving your needs, you are serving your people. So that's why I make it a mission for me, is to make bosses more human. You are just a human like anybody else. And make it known to people. Okay. The worst is bila leader ni, I've got a leader masa I dekat PLC before I retire lah. She will come to me, Ramli, you punya writing is not as good as so and so. How damaging could that be? Bila I check balik, tak adalah terror pun orang tu punya tulisan. Serious. So you know that's the most damage you can do. You know, when you communicate to people that you don't value them, trust is gone. And worse still, trust gone tak apa, but you make the person feel not appreciated. Dia pun sendiri akan ni. You know what she told me? I told her, boss, I need you to have trust in me. You know, I perform better when I feel the leader trusts me. You know what she replied? Sorry, she. You know what she told me? Oh, I only trust people when they have start performing. Best that. So, I mean, don't be that kind of boss. No matter how bad your staff is, they have needs, they have something to contribute. Find it for them. Yeah, nobody comes to the workplace not wanting to do their work. Nobody can tell you. Nobody likes to sit in the office and not doing anything or any valuable or contributing, not contributing. That's the worst thing you can do to people. Yeah. Fine.
There is another damaging thing that was happening because when you start comparing two of the staffs,
oh yeah,
you are going to
jangan, don't compare.
This one is better than you. So
well, you have children, right? Do you compare your children? Do you make say Dahlia lagi pandai daripada Suryana? How come? Kenapa bodoh sangat Suryana? Jadilah macam Dahlia. You don't do it to your children, right? But you do it to your staff. When your staff fail, anak you bila kecil dia jatuh, apa you buat? Ada you panggil pukul dia, jatuh lagi. Babak kan. Do you do that? Dulu.
Bila kita jatuh dia kata banyak lagi.
Itu lain lah, itu tak adalah. Tapi bila staff you fail, what do you do? You know, I mean, we act differently at home, and when we are boss, we become a leader. That's a problem. Like I feel.
Another thing that I think important is that respect. I think respect. You want people to respect.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Exactly. You want people to respect you, but you don't respect. Macam siapa cakap tadi? Senang aja keluar mulut. Cakap senang aja. Tadi somebody said. Ada this group I think ke dekat Zoom. Negative things they spew out senang aja, very easy. Dia tak tahu it's you know the what you say is more painful than a knife cutting through your heart. Akan orang akan ingat sampai bila tau. Be careful as a leader with what we say. Be careful. Marah macam mana pun, try to contain yourself. That's called EQ. So leaders must have a high EQ. Dah kata leader kena banyak sabar. Kalau tak ada bersabar tu janganlah jadi leader. Because in the end, when you are gone, people don't remember what you say yang negative tu. People only remember what you say, the nice things that people say. You know, tu tak ingat benda-benda lain dah. Dia tak ingat apa pangkat you. Oh dia ni leader dulu. Oh dia ni bos I dulu. Dia tak ingat dah. Tapi dia akan ingat every kebaikan yang you buat untuk dia. Be mindful of that. It's not easy to become a leader. It's a trust. Macam anak juga. You dapat anak is amanah daripada Allah. Same with staff. You are given that staff is an amanah to you. To build them, to develop them. Not to dera them. Ada banyak leader yang narcissistic. You know narcissistic? Oh, dia dapat kepuasan. Agaknya kat rumah tak boleh buat kot. Yeah, don't be like that. Yeah, if you want, apa dia?
Is it true that the saying that some leaders, they are different people when they are at home and when they are at office? Kalau dekat office dia terlalu straight, garang kan?
I don't know. You tell me. You tell me.
Kemungkinan ni kalau
Possible.
kita control what?
Possible.
Perhaps we should do a research.
That would be a good research in education.
Probably it can be. I mean, probably it's true because we talk about spillover, right? So sometimes whatever's happening at home spill over. You know, kita pun tak tahu it's a behavior. But I'm trying to go back to, because I've been listening to what you say. You mentioned about previously. You mentioned about trust, respect, and then emotional intelligence. You know, things like that. And this seems to be the in doing this, you are basically gaining on your soft skills.
Yes,
right?
definitely.
So this is more on the behavior.
It's about wisdom. It's about wisdom, kan?
Yeah. So in terms of that, perhaps you can probably highlight a bit how Petronas, for example, evaluate their leaders in terms of the behavioral part instead of just the KPI part.
Okay, good. Dalam Petronas, we've got two parts to our performance evaluation. The first one is the hard KPIs, of course, like myself would be how many sessions of workshop have I done, what level of participants to come in, level JM ke, SM ke, apa semua. Maybe kita orang pun ada research juga, how many research you do, kan, kind of thing. But on the other part, we also have this what we call leadership behaviors. Kita ada, at one point it was 9 leadership behaviors. And then we also have what we call cultural beliefs. Cultural beliefs are things like, I'm trying to remember, trust. Trust is also a cultural belief. So that one, my subordinates will give feedback online. So it's not within my control. So when I'm evaluated, a certain percentage goes to the hard KPIs. A lesser percentage goes to the soft KPIs, because we have 360 feedback. So I can get feedback from my superior, my subordinates, and my colleagues. Right? So if you perform very well, your hard KPI, dalam committee though, when they are reviewing your performance, akan keluar lah. Oh Ramli, wow, you are assigned your KPI 10, but you do 20. Your participant should be level senior manager, but you've done for VP even. Wow. So we should give him a good rating. Okay, let's look at the soft. Alamak. Ramli is a slave driver. Okay, he is very rude. Okay, I don't trust him. Aduh, ramai leaders like that. Mampus, hancur. People take that into consideration. I don't know, UPM, you do that?
I think so.
Ada kan? Kat Petronas ada leaders itu. Dia manage upwards, tapi soldiers dia semua mati. Tak last, it doesn't last. I got one leader that I know, senior general manager, tinggi just before VP. Dia guna staff dia untuk kebaikan dia sahaja. Orang tak happy. Ya, dia tapi tak sebut nama, okey lah kan. Dia bawa staff dia pergi rumah dia, kalau ada event kat rumah dia, dia suruh staff dia tolong clean the house. Staff dia buat, tapi staff dia mengut. Surat layang keluar. But she's performing. Orang atas suka dia. She delivers. Oh, sorry, she lagi ya. Aku ni tak DNI lah. Ada juga. You know what in the end? You know what happens in the end? Dia kena DI tau. And because of that simple aja, bawa staff pergi rumah, kena buang. It's considered salah laku. But people are not happy, they complain. You can't stop people. Senior general manager, okay, kesian. So she was when she was ni, she tried to appeal lah. Takkanlah sikit ni pun dibuang. Ya, kena buang. Image and also salah laku, misconduct. You cannot. Petronas, they won't tolerate. Even simple thing like bunga, you memang that level you are entitled to buy flowers, put in the office. What happens that this lady bawa balik rumah, salah. Staff report. Kalau staff tak trust you, they will do anything to get back. Okay, not in front of you, but they will get back. Kenapa tu? Sorry lah. Aku lah ni. Bila dah excited tu mulalah. Kan? So, you know, be careful as leaders. Every action of yours is being looked at by your staff. They may not say it in front of you, but they will assess. You know, so that's how important leadership is, and your how you carry yourself. Be mindful of that. Apa dah? How are we doing with time? Not even the slides. Tak apa lah kan? We're not meant to finish anyway. Okay. Any thoughts? Maybe from the Zoom, maybe we hear one or two from the Zoom at this juncture. Any thoughts? Guys? Kadang-kadang kena check juga. Are they still there?
Any thoughts from the Zoomers? Or any, I guess, disagreements? Okay, we have.
Okay, good. Always welcome.
This is the first time I've heard leadership being described as serving.
No.
Explain more.
Well, I will. Okay.
Which is really interesting. It's not very commonly said in our culture.
So in Petronas also it's a new thing. Serving. We call this servant leadership. Servant leadership. You are the leader, yes, but you are a servant. Patutnya MPs kita pun macam tu. Should be like that.
But the point is, serving leadership has been
lama dah.
It has been around for a long time.
It's
It's just that now, I guess, due to the demand of the employees, demand of the people, the changing of the culture, and so on, so it's coming back.
Because of Bani. It's a Bani. You need to be more serving as leaders. The
same thing about they have called authentic leadership. Think more to the aspect of thinking. But it is one of the most important criteria.
Yeah, integrity. Correct. The cases in integrity is rising. You'll be surprised. Gaji banyak tu bukan gaji sikit. Pun ada banyak.
Supposed to be the highest lah.
Is it? I'm not sure lah, but I think it's high lah. Yang aku terasa sangat ni sebab dah tak ada gaji kan. Okay, thank you for that. This is something. This is a model. It's called the Robinson's model of performance. Right? You can see that factors internal to the organization, clarity, roles, and expectations. If you want your people to perform on the job, these are the elements that you need to take care of. Clarity of roles and responsibilities, tak apalah, yang tu memang is a given lah. You see, coaching and reinforcement. Coaching is important. Now, be careful. In Petronas, so we've trained all our leaders in coaching, but it doesn't happen now. It doesn't happen. They know how to coach, but they don't have this. The feedback that came back to us, we don't have time to coach. You know why they don't have time to coach? Goes back to my point tadi itulah. They don't want to serve and they are so comfortable doing their KPIs. Dia suka kerja dia. Kau suruh aku coach, aku tak reti. I've learned in classroom, but I don't enjoy it. Why? Because their mindset is not serving. When your mindset is not serving, you don't want to coach. Buat apa? Bos tak nampak I coach. Boss will not see me coaching. Kan? Now, the fact that I go to Oxford is because I have this serving mindset. Kan? If I have not serving mindset, I would say to hell Oxford, you deal with yourself. I want to deal with my boss. I want to look good to my boss. Kan? So serving mindset is important. So coaching is important. Lagi satu, orang ingat coaching ni, have you any of you gone to coaching training? Tak naik. Baik tak payah sebenarnya. Serious. I think orang Petronas semua tahu, we spend millions to send people, the whole people for training, certification, but they don't apply. Coaching is simple. Duduk dengan staff, sembang. That's coaching. Bila you belajar coaching, you thought that coaching, oh kena ikut this process. Oh ada grow model, kena tanya. What, there's a step by step. Then people lemah nak buat. Kita lah nak buat. But padahal coaching is simple. Just ask him. Or tell him, how can I help you? Hey, I notice you're good at this. I think I'm going to give you opportunity to do this. What do you think? Simbang lah sama kopi je.
But then because of recognition, if you don't have that certification, you don't have
Itulah.
I mean, how can others recognize as qualified? I think that's the issue.
That's a mindset. But actually, when you serve, the way you talk to your staff about their needs, that's already coaching. Bila you pergi training lagi lah, you ingat coaching has to be a certain way. Orang tak ada masa lah, coaching kena ada setengah jam. I duduk dengan Oxford sekejap je. I panggil dia ke bilik kan, cakap, Oxford, I know you can do this. I full trust in this. I know you can do it. You know more leadership things than I do. Let's put this to good use. As simple as that. So coaching is important. Let's look at that. Okay, incentive tak apalah. Incentives. Okay, incentives. I think you all know tak payah nak cakap. Incentives doesn't have to be money. Okay. Okay, I get incentives, bonuses. I tell you, I'm very transparent. You know how much my bonus is? Or was? Cuma teka. Amount. Berapa ringgit? You ingat? How much? You're right.
A lot.
120,000. Habis, kejap je habis. And does that motivate me? No. Tak. What motivates me is recognition, a pat on the back, and the fact that I learn new skills. Itu lebih motivate me through these years. Duit sekejap je habis. I tell you, you dapat duit, kelabu mata. When you get 120,000, everything looks cheap. Habis sekejap je. Every year like that. I wish I save more lah. Kan? So incentive, give in the form of recognition, pat on the back. Jangan kedekut, praise people, no matter how small. Susah betul. Kadang-kadang, sometimes leaders are you staring at me because 120,000 tu tak percaya I boleh cakap lah sebab dah retire kan. Luckily last year I dapat because last year I still work kan. So you know, it doesn't last. But recognition, pat on the back, you know, Naim kan? Izam, I saw you doing something today and I thought it was excellent. Thank you. Guys, follow him. You know how much that does to motivate people? A lot. Okay, of course, work system and processes must be there. Access information, these are all given. Tak apa. Tapi I would say among these are coaching and incentive. Non-monetary incentive is important. It's very crucial. Okay, and if you look at factors in any internal, sorry, nanti I ubah factors internal to individuals. Okay. Skills and knowledge. We talked about this already. Skills and knowledge. Kalau you tak dia tahu, okay, are you still talking about the amount I received? Can't believe it kan? Aku pun tak percaya. Tapi tak semua orang Petronas macam aku please. Don't tell people, oh Petronas semua dapat 120,000. Tak. According to levels. I'm already at GM level. Ada juga yang bawah tu dapat sikit je, cukup je, feedback. Tak semua orang Petronas macam tu. Apa dia? Dapat bonus dapat. Ada 1 year je kita dapat, which is 2021. Sebab the price of gas oil was very low. Kegirangan tu sekejap hilang. Dapat tu macam wah bestnya. After that seminggu habis. Kan tak adalah seminggu lebih sikit lah. Nampak ni murahnya. Kereta Merc ni murahnya, nak beli lah. You know, down payment separuh lah, 50,000 ikut. Rumah, wow, nice apartment. Okay, how much? Okay lah, bye. Sekejap je. Lepas tu tak ada lah. That's the story of me lah. Towards the end lah. Dulu scraping juga. Masa aku kerja kat Petroscience tu kesian. Pergi Petronas contract 1,000 less salary. Kesian. Lepas tu pun as a leader pun ada juga hati cakap dengan staff. If you don't like to, aku panggil staff, I call all the staff. I was very bad. This is not something not to do. I was so angry with the staff. They didn't trust me. Surat layang apa semua. I call them up. If you don't like to work here, leave. Never say that. Lepas tu aku kena cucur tu. Tak boleh. Kan? So these are mistakes that I did. I don't want people to repeat. Don't have ego as a boss. Remove the ego. Don't have egos when you're a boss. You tak ada ego lagi orang respect you. People respect you more if you don't have ego. If you're humble. Kan? People respect me. My staff sampai sekarang I have Oxford just told me recently I buat makan-makan dengan dia orang kan. Boss, I miss you lah as a leader. Maknanya sekarang dah teruk lah bos dia. Rasa dia nak retire. Kesian Oxford. Dia baik tau Oxford ni. He's one of the kindest person. Apa dia? Tak apa, I dah minta permission dah. Because he's a good test case. I just want to highlight. Because dia ni baik. Sampaikan dia punya WhatsApp. Dia tulis apa tahu? Kindness is my religion. Of course he doesn't mean that lah. But he's so kind. He doesn't have a single evil bone in him. Tak pernah mengata orang, okay? Very good. Tapi bila people treat him macam tak betul, kesian lah kan. Dia ada potential. Okay. So skills and knowledge. The fact that people value skills and knowledge, you make sure what new skills and knowledge dia boleh dapat. Macam Oxford, I knew the new skills and knowledge is the facilitation, exposure to new groups of people to facilitate. I gave him the opportunity, and he did it well. Sampaikan he's famous among the leaders. Yeah, that they know Oxford. Oh, Oxford, okay, bestnya facilitated by Oxford, which wasn't the case before. Nobody knows him before that. He was on his own. That's the transformation as a leader you should make in order to be a high-performing organization. You can leverage all the potential. The question you have to ask yourself as a leader: have you leveraged all the potentials in your staff? Are there money left on the table? You know what I mean? Money left on the table.
When you say leverage, right? Does that mean that you actually mix and match? That means not all your staffs are doing the same thing, right?
Yes.
You have to.
They have different strengths. They have different needs. You must understand. Listen to them. What would you like to do? What would excite you?
So if let's say they are excited about doing this,
try to find an opportunity. Help them.
That was a question actually, because maybe it's relevant because Dr. Saliza was asking how to set the limit to be humble so that people at the end of the day do not step on you due to your kindness.
Why should people step on you? If
Don't blame the messenger.
Okay, if you feel people step on you, sit down with that person, clarify it. Clarify it.
Give you more work.
Clarify that.
Give more work.
I find that, you know, when I say humble and serving, bukanlah. I think if you feel people step on you, have them sit down with them one-on-one, explain to them, kan? And let them see. Sometimes dia tak perasan, you know, and it could be that perception you salah ataupun clarify it with them, kan? Clarify it with them. When I did it with Oxford, did he step on me? Tak. Okay, I give you another example of my staff, another staff. AJ. Okay, AJ. Kau kenal tak AJ? AJ ni, dia cocky. Dia cocky, dia rasa dia lagi terror daripada orang lain semua. Memang dia cocky. So what do I do with him? I sit down with him also. AJ, what is it that you like? Dulu dia tak pernah masuk learning tau. Kita orang pun ada juga non-learning punya positions. Dia buat more marketing, jual-jual program dekat patronized companies kan. Dah lama dia kat situ. Kan, dia dah level executive masa tu. Executive yang paling bawah lah. Lepas tu dia tiba-tiba masuk my group which is learning. Dia tak dapat lagi specialist. Dia memang ada air sikit. Dia tak macam Oxford. Dia memang kalau cakap tu melepas saja. Sesama the staff, kan? He will be abrasive lah. Orang tahu dia tak boleh salah cakap sikit. Kau jangan layan sangat AJ tu. He will be like dia tahu orang yang rasa dia pandai kan. So I sit down with him. I tak marah dia. I told him, AJ, do you like to be learning kan? You are learning, do you like? Okay, how can we make sure that you get specialist? Sit down with him, tanya. Boleh juga, boleh. It's as simple as that. Your role is to facilitate growth of people. These people amanah daripada Tuhan, pada Allah, given to you. Treat them as that, like your children, just like your children. Macam tu lah. Yeah? What was the question? Aku ingat dah. Oh, stepping people.
How do you set the limit to being humble?
What do you mean? Oh, limit. To me kan, there's no limit to me. If people want to step on you, tak apa, biar, let them be. Eventually they will realize. You will realize. You don't need to get back to them. You just give them feedback. Feedback is important. Tell them. Kalau dia tak accept, leave it. Because people, you cannot take the horse to the river and force it to drink. You cannot tell people, you can only make them think. Mungkin dia tak sampai lagi level yang kesedaran tu, belum sampai. You cannot force. Don't just because someone step on you, oh, I want to go back to become a ruthless leader. So everybody will step over me. Tak boleh, cannot. Not everybody is the same. Just like this diagram. Pernah tengok ni kan? Yeah. Coming back to your question, your point about don't treat everyone the same. Your staff have got different levels of development. Tiba-tiba KPI semua sama. Memanglah, kesian orang yang not there yet. Not there yet. Kan? Kalau not there yet, sit down with him. How can you help him to reach there? Kalau yang pandai tu tak apa, pandai. So this is where this 2x2 diagram, the grid comes in. Kalau yang dah pandai, high skill, you delegate to them. Give them more autonomy. Kalau tak begitu, macam ni kan, this diagram kan. Kau suruh panjat pokok. You ask them to climb the tree. Monkey, yes. Monkey happy lah. Kan? But the fish tu macam mana? What about the fish? So be fair. Be fair and help them. You are servant. You are a servant. I wish our politicians are all servant, kan? Macam that German the Chancellor of Germany dulu, Angela Merkel. You know, she stayed in a simple apartment, tau tak? Simple apartment masa dia jadi Chancellor, okay? Dia tak duduk mana-mana mansion pun, duduk rumah dia yang apartment tu. And that's really a servant leader. You bayang?
I wonder, Merkel was a leader. Because being a national leader, definitely at the official register.
Right. I tak tahu dia ada official residence tak, I don't know, but she stays in a whole apartment memang. And that's common. The Nordic countries, the MP pergi kerja naik train aja, macam normal beings, human beings. Ini mungkin salah kita, our fault lah. We render a grandiose letak them on the path. Salah kita. Panggil official, oh kena panggil all these politicians duduk depan. You know in Japan, politician duduk belakang, okay? The academics duduk depan. Salah kita lah sebenarnya. Kita pamper them too much. Itulah. Okay, sorry lah rambling ya. Aku ni berambling. I just want to quickly go. Somebody asked me, how do I motivate staff? This is the model. It used to be this. Pernah tengok kan? Maslow hierarchy of needs. It's too broad. The more current one is this one. It's called RAMP. R-A-M-P. Okay, one is a relatedness. That means everyone ini sama, quite similar to sense of belonging. Okay. Relatedness means if you put people where they can connect to one another, or they can connect to anybody else, but you make it happen for them, you serve them, they will be motivated. They feel that I contribute. My example, when I was there before I retired, all the specialists is in one department. They are close-knit. They can talk to one another. If one person got an assignment, they have some challenges, they know who to turn to because it's a close-knit, like macam adik-beradik. They are motivated at that time. When I left, the nice CEO pecah-pecahkan doang, letak different departments. Now they're very unhappy and unmotivated because they cannot connect. The other staff in their current department are not learning people sometimes. So they don't know who to talk to. Dah pecah. So this is talking about relatedness. So when you structure your people, make sure they have opportunity to connect with people, like-minded people, that they can ask for help and reach out, and also to contribute, help others also. Every one of us has this inherent need to help others. Okay, relatedness is important. Next, autonomy. Jangan tell them you must do A, B, C, D, and I will check on you. That's not autonomy. You must allow freedom. Okay, I want you to achieve this. Okay. Think about it, come back to me, I will listen. That's autonomy, they'll be more motivated. They'll be more motivated. You cannot allow for autonomy. Okay, this is from Daniel Pink. Bacalah buku dia, very good. They did a lot of studies, research to have this, actually 3 things saja. Relatedness somehow comes in later. Autonomy, mastery. Mastery tadi itulah. When I learned I have new skills, I was so elated. At one time in my career, I was given a task to do consultancy in Jakarta, competency profiling. I did it with a consultant company bagi I to work with them. I feel so good because now I can do consultancy. I have an experience doing consultancy dengan one gas company, TGI, Transportasi Gas Indonesia. They were so elated for me. Masa tu aku dapat bonus 11 bulan, okay? Tapi gaji rendah lah masa tu. Tapi it's not the gaji, it's the fact that sampai hari ni aku ingat. Until today I remember that I have done that consultancy. It leaves me with a good feeling and I'm motivated to do more. So with your people, look for opportunity. Sit down. I sit down with Oxford, I give him new skills and get motivated as a result. It's not the money that counts. Money is important lah. Not to say it's not important kan. Tapi in the end, what new skills? I'm more now. I know what to do. Before this, I don't know how to facilitate senior leaders. Now I can do it. I'm so motivated. Yeah. Ada lagi komen-komen kat situ baca.
Just one. I'm actually asking that because we are towards the end of our time.
Yeah.
I think that just one that you have not responded yet. How to be an influential leader?
By doing this.
Okay.
When you do this right,
That's a short answer.
People will listen to you and you become more influential. Yeah. When you serve your people, you will become influential. People will talk. People will talk, tell you. And finally, purpose. We talk about purpose. So as a leader, you can convince them. You must explain to them that, you know, guys, why you do this is because you need, the company needs, UPM needs to survive when the government is giving less and less grant. Connect to whatever they do to the bigger picture. And that goes through, how does that happen? When you talk to your staff, when you have a conversation with your staff, you're coaching with your staff. Okay? Itulah dia, in a nutshell, this is it. Then you become influential. People don't remember what you know. People don't care what you know, but people will know what you. People don't care what you know, but they will know. People don't care how much you know. People don't care how much you know. People only know how much. People don't care how much you know. Tapi terbalik, ada ingat tak? In a nutshell, people don't care how much you know, but yes, they will know how much you care. That's more important to them. So caring is serving. So keep that simple. If there's one takeaway from today, okay, the takeaway is, how do I become more a servant leadership? So servant leadership, somebody asked me to discuss in more detail kan. Ada dia punya, I tak remember semua. I have something that I looked at just now, the elements of servant leadership. Jap. Let me, before I forget. Okay, these are the things. Okay, if you're a servant leader, if you're a servant leader, you got good listening skills. You're gonna listen more. Listen and observe. Listen doesn't mean through ear. You observe people. Macam I observe Oxford, very quiet. People are not recognizing him. I tak listen pun. Dia adalah introvert. Dia takkan cakap. So you have to go to them. So that's listening. Empathy. You must empathy. There's a difference between empathy and sympathy.
Yes.
What's the difference?
Empathy is when you put yourself in their shoes.
Yes.
Sympathy is just on the outside.
Sympathy is very, orang kata, superficial lah. You know, sebenarnya is rhetoric lah. Sympathy is rhetoric. Empathy, you really, and your body language must show also. Kata Oxford, I know, you know how you feel, you know, like macam tak nampak kan, macam tak sincere kan. Tapi kalau you duduk dengan dia, tenang mata, eye contact. Oxford, I know you can do this. I know what you have, what it takes. That's empathy. Developing others. I always stress, staff is God-given trust. It's given to you not by your choice. It is Allah who gave to you. Don't think that, oh, aku dapat pangkat because aku pandai. That's why I get all these people reporting to me. No. It is God that gives these people to you. It's an amanah, it's a trust. And the trust is for you to develop them. Give them new skills. Okay, lagi. Emotionally intelligent. We talk about that, EQ. Jangan cakap yang bukan-bukan, lepas saja ikut sedap hati korang. Basically that's what it is lah.
In a nutshell.
Persuasion. Tadi cakap about influencing. Persuasion. Listening. You persuade instead of directing. Cakap cara persuading. Bukan, okay guys, this is your assignment. A, B, C, D. Tak boleh macam tu. Kena persuade nicely. Memang penat jadi leader, bukannya senang. That's why orang tak suka jadi leader. Dia nak gaji, tapi dia tak jadi leader. I was there once. Okay, aku mengakulah. Big picture thinking tu yang, kalau you ada big picture thinking, you can tell your staff, why you do this? Because it's for the purpose. It has to be a larger purpose. Kan? Larger purpose. Itu pasal Russian army tak boleh. Dia tak ada bigger purpose. Why do I do this? Apa aku nak mati? Kan? I don't see the purpose of me mati in a foreign country. Tapi the Ukrainian, I will die for my country. You heard about the soldier who blew himself up on the bridge? Dengar tak? He blew himself up the bridge to make sure that the army, Russian army, cannot cross over. It was a last minute decision. He blew himself up. And that is what happens when your staff believes in the bigger picture, in the cause. Yes. Listen and be informed, okay? Community development. So basically that's what servant leadership is all about. Try to practice it, think about it. I can only inspire you. I cannot make sure that you do it. So at least you've heard of servant, serving instead of leading. So we should call servership. Servership, that's servantship. Servership. There's no such word. Maybe we should coin it. Leadership bahaya.
You can coin lah.
You know when I was doing education, have you heard of I'm sure you heard of UNT kan? Kalau tak heard pun kau ngangguk je lah. Have you heard of Vygotsky law, Vygotsky theory? Yeah? I percaya sangat Vygotsky, you know. It says speech comes before thought. We are the only species with language in the world. When you talk, it will internalize. Bahasa Islam we call it akad kan? Cakap kan? That's why kita kata beli, saya beli ya. Saya jual, saya beli. So bila cakap you beli itu it's internalized. So that's the power of language. So leadership ni leader, lead. Memanglah orang lead. Kan? Kalau servant, I'm a servant to you guys. Bila you cakap servant banyak kali you cakap, you akan jadi servantnya. So lepas ni balik, when you go home, servant, I'm a servant. Cakap banyak kali. Then you will be a servant.
Why? Okay.
Jangan cakap depan wife.
Okay. Alright.
Okay. I hope I'm leaving it with that lah.
Okay. So very, very interesting sessions. So I hope that all of us are going to benefit from this session.
Inshallah.
So far, there are no other questions from the Zoom or the Zoomers. And any last minute questions from the floor, from the audience? No? I think Nizam is still staring. Or maybe thinking about the bonuses now.
Trying to digest.
Yes, okay. So I
think before we finish, I rasa macam tak close.
Okay.
I want from each one here, what's the one thing that you learned? That impacted you. Bukan learn, that impacted you. What was it? Satu je. I nak one word saja. Then it's quick. Sorry ya. Boleh ya? Can? Okay. Begin with you lah. What's the one word that captures you? Quick.
It's not what you say, intention.
Huh?
Intention.
Intention. Did I say that? Intention.
No, but
you coin lah.
I thought of
What's
it
your
when you were
intent?
saying the
Okay.
intention of
Good.
this.
Suriana? Okay, Hidayah?
I like when you mentioned that people don't care how much you know, but people know how much you care.
People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That's how important caring is serving. Betul. Thank you so much. Oh, ingat. Okay. Shoaib kan? Sebab betul.
One word, trust.
Trust. Gain trust and you'll be persuasive. Okay, Naim?
Nizam.
Izam. Ya Allah, why do I call him Naim? Izam. Sorry lah, 60 lah. I don't look 60, but here already 60 lah.
So basically, serving itself is a good.
Serving is, you learn about serving. Yes.
I learned that the fact is that people actually don't care to step on you. It will be nice.
I mean, if people step on you, that's fine. It's their problem. It's not your problem. Sit down with them and tell them honestly, I think you step on me. You know, how can I do such a way that you don't do that? Because it is for your own growth. I'm interested in your growth. Kalau cakap macam tu, I think you faham. Masalah sekarang kita tak communicate. Okay, next, sorry.
Humble and respect.
Yes, humble and respect. You want to people respect you, you respect them first. Yeah. Yeah, dah dapat dah ilham.
Do your best and be inspirational.
Yes, be inspiring.
Inspiring.
Ask yourself, how can I be inspiring to people? Okay.
So we have
Dah.
two feedback from the
Okay.
viewers. Yeah.
Apa?
Leadership is tough for introverts still.
So you kena belajar introvert ni macam yalah macam Oxford Untaf for him lah kan. So try to ni lah get out of
And
the
be humble
comfort
to
zone.
everyone. So
Yeah.
that's
Excellent.
that's a wrap.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much for those for all of you who have attended this session. So I hope it's going to benefit all of us.
Yep.
And thank you so much, Encik Ramli, for coming here and sharing your knowledge. Yeah. So it has been a very fruitful 2 hours for us.
I rasa
2 hours
rugi kalau tak share.
right? Yeah. So and with that, I will end the session, and I hope that
Thank you
for the
so much.
audience, just perhaps in the future, just take note of our next intellectual discourse, and hope for you to join the session more
Thank you.
in the future, right? So thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice